What's going on, guys? This is No Noise Research with Z-Rex coming at you on 7/17 on 2018 on a very nice day. If you have any crypto, I'm sure you're pretty excited. Today I got with me a buddy of mine. Again, we're going to have some better audio. That one yesterday actually pulled down. There was some good content, but it was just unbearable. I'm sure no one could have listened through it. My apologies. We are working to improve that. But if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, I'll let you go ahead and do that.
Yeah, you know it happens. This is JJ running shotgun. Let's get right down to it.
All right, I like that. Well, actually, just tell us what you do a little bit, JJ.
Well, I have a background in DevOps engineering and internet infrastructure. I got into crypto about 2 years ago. Mostly because I'm fascinated by all the open APIs and data that are just swarming this burgeoning industry. The research aspect is fascinating. The profit is pretty great. And yeah, I quit my job in April of last year, and I've just been doing this stuff full time since then, and it's been fantastic.
Sweet, awesome. Let's get into some news. This guy has pretty awesome knowledge on that back end hardware stuff, if you wanted to know. Here we go. Breaking news. Kodak Mining collapse. Collapses the scam. It's done. It's over, guys. I know this is heartbreaking to everyone around. I know. I went all in on it. How about you, JJ?
I did not notice it coming or going.
Yeah, that's a good point. I like that. That's really what happened. Of course, I did not go all in on that. I actually kind of thought that was the top when I heard that they got in there. I was like, oh, be careful here. That and my dad wanting to buy crypto, and in fact buying it when it was almost all-time highs. Great signal. Whenever that happens again in the future, guys, any kind of tradable or security, doesn't matter, Bitcoins.
If your teenage son is begging you to buy something, you should probably buy, but then when dad or grandpa are talking about it, that's time to sell.
Yeah, I like that. That's a little better. That's definitely good. At least chunk a little bit in there, you know, just try it. Yeah. But yeah, it's pretty funny. It's a scam. Of course it was. If you saw a picture of the miners, it looks like they literally put a sticker on it. It was a joke. Close it. We're done. This is pretty interesting here. Oracle blockchain opens for business. So they've been testing it for a little while, and it's on Hyperledger, which is was created by IBM, which is pretty cool. I know a lot of people have heard about it. It's been around for a while.
There's that Linux Foundation connection too. I think they announced in December of 2015. It's kind of neat to see these corporations partnering and I suppose not even competing with one another. They're just choosing to collaborate, and it's nice to see the Linux Foundation up in there.
Yeah, that's cool too. Also, another point this article has here is Oracle joined along with them in August of last year. And then you have IBM in there in 2015. I mean, it's pretty cool doing the work. What do you think about that as far as, so compared to the 90s, right? Everyone wanted to do their own intranet. So what do you think about that as a DevOps guy? And,
I mean, this to me,
is that going to make it?
This to me looks like a lot of the engineers working at those companies driving policy more so than maybe executives or purely business development parts of the company. That these companies are being receptive and listening to customers and employees in this like modern Web 2.0 era has worked out really well for everyone. Just quality products being released. The cloud works great. AWS has its own blockchain interests. A lot of vendors, a lot of these big internet companies seem to be taking to it. I mean, I thought 2 years ago, oh, this is the adoption phase. And then 2017 last year, oh no, this is the adoption phase. Oh, well, when you see stuff like this kind of surfacing, it just shows that it's at least going mainstream on the corporate front. They'll be trying to release a product of some kind, and it'll be cool. It'll be good for everyone as far as trading. It just creates utility on top of the marketplace beyond us just trading.
Yeah, they got to get in there too, and you know they will. If money transmission is the largest business on the planet by volume, so if you can cut that fee structure by, let's just say, 30%, people are going to jump on that, and that's what they're doing. They want to settle things with something that we're about to talk to now. Speaking of IBM, is using Stronghold, which is a form of a stable coin, like Tether. You know, there's a lot of crazy feelings about Tether.
They passed that weird third-party review or auditor that came in.
Oh, yeah, I think he was from the FBI, too, if my mind remembers that correctly.
So according to that one strange third-party audit, well, they have all the dollars they claim to. I don't hate on Tether. Their wallet works pretty well. It's up, it's working, and I can park my funds from a certain value in Tether and cash back in. So it's a good way to have a ghetto long short kind of system.
Yeah, and you need something like that. People, instead of going short maybe with futures, you could go to cash instead. And Tether allows you to do that instead of trying to find someone to sell to via local Bitcoins or the hard Coinbase. Really, I guess now there are alternatives. BitShares is now in there. Square is in there, which is something that I brought up the other day that I'm still researching heavily because I think that's really important. I kind of slept on that one a little bit. But yeah, so Stronghold USD, which has been launched on Stellar's blockchain, which is partnered with IBM, is issued for every US dollar deposited at the company's partner bank, Prime Trust in Nevada, at a 1-to-1 ratio. And guys, this isn't even that crazy, man. I mean, I'm curious of your thoughts too here, JJ. But everyone's like, "Oh, it's crazy. Tether's printing this up and printing that up." Well, first, all the money you use in your wallet is the same way, and also, Bitcoin and all these other cryptocurrencies, they were created. So it's kind of like, ease off a little bit.
And speaking just purely from a practical standpoint, Tether's network has not gone down. It's never had any issues or that I've seen of any kind. So if you put your funds there, it's parked there, and when you buy back in, it's got the purchasing power of $1 US. And to see a stablecoin come out and basically be the same thing, well, okay, if I don't have faith in Tether for thinking that, oh, they're just printing Tether and they don't actually have the backing, well, it still worked this whole time. It worked perfectly. There was never an issue. And for stablecoin to come out, I think it's just good to have, more variety, another kind of the same thing. And also BitUSD on BitShares parks at $1 USD. It's a great way to be long in the market when you own the token. Like, okay, I'm long BTC. I want to be short, cash into Tether. Your value's parked. You just stepped out of the market for the drop. And when you find a nice bottom, you want to be long again, you just cash right back in.
It's great for risk management and savvy traders and astute traders that have done it for a while. You have to have that. The bottom line is products like this have to exist in this economy. It is inevitable. It's part of the ecosystem. I think people need to focus on actual real projects and looking for the real things and not really worry about Tether or what these other stable coins. Those have to exist. So let's just see which one makes it out so far. And I would agree with JJ. They do have a good performing product. And so far, there's zero issues with them. And they're still around.
And stablecoin has been blessed out of Bahrain by Sharia law. Stellar Coin has been blessed by the FDIC out of the West, New York, America. FDIC blessing. I don't know if the FDIC says it's a good coin, then okay, cool. Maybe a lot of asset managers SEC members and traders will think that it has a sense of legitimacy. Conversely, in another culture, you know, the Islamic culture, they need to wait for their clerics or what have you to declare it halal, or for it to just be okay as far as the Sharia law goes. So that's great. Then we could have Saudi Arabian funds and Jordanian funds, Iranian funds, Russian funds. All these cultures and geographies will embrace these markets slowly but surely. You know, it's not going to be Korea or Japan being the guiding force in terms of daily volume.
Yeah, and seeing this is right here, just like I was saying, we're talking about IBM is even talking, hey, we'll be able to reduce exposure to volatility within the cryptocurrency market. I would actually argue that they're going to use that to take volatility out of more products that they have and ventures that they'll go on here in the future. But I like your terminology there, JJ, of blessing American, you know, most regulated, respected financial market in the world's blessing, and a very large dominant religion's blessing as well.
And hence, you know, if the FDIC blesses it, well, Canada and the UK and Australia and New Zealand will follow not long after.
Yeah, so let's check out some right here. Let's check out some XLM. That's what it looks like. It's a little longer term. Oh, I guess I have a little arrow there. Let's get rid of that guy. Yeah, so here we go. This is XLM charts, a daily. Pretty nice. It's obviously sharing some strength with the market in general today, which we're about to get into. And yeah, so it looks pretty good here. I like it. I think we should take a look at it a little bit more. I know JJ wanted to talk about something a little bit technical called CCXT. So I'm going to just go ahead and let you run with that one.
It's it kind of popped on my radar this week. Apparently it's been around for at least a couple months. So I myself have been working on getting 7 exchange integrations behind a common API just for my own use of trading and writing apps. But some group of noble souls has written a Python library. It's also available for Node and I believe PHP as well. It has the exchange integration for 47 exchanges, market APIs, common API methods, and it just takes care of all the endpoint translation, you know, within its own logic. You get market data, you get access to the trading API, and look at the exchange list. This is a phenomenal list. I've been using Coinigy for my data feed, and this has twice the number of exchanges that they've bothered to integrate, including like Buybox, Bitflyer out of Japan, and including some like pseudo DEXs. They have Buybox is kind of a pseudo DEX in my opinion. Stellar, but not Stellar Port or not Stellar Port Exchange. That's another interesting aspect to the being blessed by the FDIC and Sharia, because it's kind of a DEX. You know, there's a decentralized exchange included. This is a very complete list of all of the centralized exchanges. You know, I would say a CEX, a SEX versus a DEX. You know, we're going with that. Anyway, it's a badass library, and I just wanted to point it out for anybody doing any development or thinking about getting exchange integrations rolling. It's pretty badass. It's going to speed a lot of my projects along. I sure know that.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I hope y'all guys check into that and get some value out of there. There's so many things being built on here, and I mean, there's almost every exchange is on this. I'm going down the list while he was talking and just highlighting kind of the ones we've all heard of, and even some you probably haven't. I know there's definitely like 10 on there I never even heard of easily.
This is like thousands of man hours we're looking at right here.
Really?
Of combined effort on part of the developers. The documentation is great. If y'all want to show these people some love by sending some Bitcoin or LTC to their donation addresses, do it, because they're killing it. They're doing a great job.
There you go. Get it in. All right, let's get into the market, guys. Here we go. What we like to do is just check out Binance. They're just the largest one. I'm not biased to Binance, except I am biased to volume and business. So here we go. ETH is actually at the top of the volume today. That's pretty interesting. And these are Bitcoin pairs. You can see right here. EOS has been one that I have been keeping my eye on for like a sharp eye on. I think that one has yet to have its true large move. What do you think about that, JJ?
It's definitely a good ETH competitor. Actually, I don't have much to say about EOS. I haven't used it for much. And if I was going to do a smart contract app, I probably would go with ETH. You know, the real defining factor, I think, would be like chargebacks or like so for example, there was an exchange 2 weeks ago based on the ERC20 tokens, and the exchange they just froze all exchanges because it had some kind of hack. If that's not possible on EOS, then EOS is my go-to. I would say EOS is going to have a good long-term, I don't know. I guess that depends if people care about the fact that you can do chargebacks on ETH, or that, I don't know. That's my bias. That's all I have to say about EOS.
All right, fair enough. We'll see. Sounds like you probably could have said a couple more things, but we'll move on. Binance. Binance is always kind of in the top 20 on Binance. I'm sure there's a little bias there, but let's admit it, guys. They're killing it. I mean, we've used the app. I'm sure y'all have. I only trade my hypothetical paper money on there, but you know that app is slick, man. That's why they grew into the largest exchange within, what was it, 3 months, 2-3 months they came out and pretty much took over the entire game, because all it was an app. And I hope people out there listening that they realize we already have the chains now. You can stop forking things pretty much. Like, now we need real utility and application. So build, dApps, and alike. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would agree. One other great aspect of Binance is the fact that they have the BNB token. You know, Qcoin has, you know, KCS, OK Exchange has OK token, but Binance, with their no fee structure, I don't know, they just kind of beat everyone to it, and it's just a really well run exchange. Their API and their documentation have been great. I've only ever had good experiences with Binance, never had an issue.
Yeah, they're great. It's a really amazing platform, and they're very progressive. They are moving and upgrading. They're obviously putting money back into the business, and not only just acquiring things and, you know, Malta. There's all kinds of different deals, but just like as far as actual technology as well.
And now there's never been a better excuse to find a reason to go to Malta.
Yeah, right.
Sign me up.
Let's go. All right, let's check out. Let's just go into Bitcoin. All right, man. So how excited have you been today, JJ? How excited?
I've been excited to have a run of profit from the last couple of months of bear market. Kind of a permanent bull. I'll just grin and bear it. You know.
So we're up, guys, about 20%, y'all. So keep that in mind. That's a large move. It's a very large move. I mean, hell, if you think about it, we haven't seen a move like this since maybe back here, I guess, possibly. What is that? Oh, my goodness.
57 to 63.
That's only about 11%, but over the end of it, it did about 15. So, but percent-wise right here in the time, I mean, we can even just go ahead and pull that up real fast and simple. If you don't use TradingView, you should. It is awesome. Yeah, 20% in 11 bars, and it already calculates it for you here. I'm on a 4-hour. That's 1 day right here, if you can see it. Oh, just kidding. Right here, if you can see it, it is at 1 day and 20 hours. So roughly 2 days, we're up 20%. Talk to me, JJ. What's up?
It's just good to see it. There was the $20 billion on the table waiting to be approved. There was like a big $20 billion. I think it was mostly hedge fund money, just waiting to be approved, waiting to enter the market through some kind of audit process. The actual article, I saw it on Zero Hedge, of course.
Oh, nice.
But that, I guess, entered the market 2 days ago, and I don't know. I guess in my mind, I'm correlating that event to this big price move.
Okay. Okay.
I've had it said the hedge fund market is, $130 trillion. And if just 1% of that money enters crypto in any capacity, such as through this small little bite of 20 billion of that $1 trillion, how could that affect the price? I've heard a price of $225,000 for BTC, or that by the end of this year we could be at 25K. But that's pure speculation. It doesn't matter what numbers. I'm just happy to see the move that's here. The TA brings me comfort.
Yeah, I mean, it looks awesome. I know a lot of people are getting super excited. I haven't fanned through all the celebrities yet in the YouTube and Twitter spheres to see their reactions, but from scanning some headlines a little late today, it seems like everyone's kind of like, I told you so about the Head and Shoulders. And that's just my initial reaction. I don't know. I'm just being out there with that one. Like, I don't know. I need to go into it a little bit more, but I keep noticing there's a lot of that, like, oh, see, the inverse Head and Shoulders played out, and if y'all want to see what that is, if y'all don't know, we can get fancy here. I think there's a way on TradingView where it'll do Head and Shoulders. Yes, here it is. So you can go here. This is what everybody was talking about. It's something along these lines.
There it is.
And it looks pretty good. It did not the structure wasn't correct, though. If you wanted to be super technical, like, you're not supposed to really break this low with the shoulder. But TA is an art, though. That's why you got to be flexible with this stuff. Like, I would have drawn this on there and called it that, even though that. And the volume looks okay, but that's one of the big technicals for those dudes that want to be super serial about all that. But I'm really flexible with my TA. Like, I don't know if I've said it in other videos or not before, but when I draw trend lines, so let's say I'm drawing this trend line right here, and like this hasn't happened yet, right? So I would have drawn this, and we erased it on a couple videos ago when this broke out and I was talking get ready, right? So right here, I would have drawn it like that and touched everything, and then I take them, and then I just move them up just a little bit like that, so nothing touches it. Because it just gives me that extra little cushion. Everybody's watching the same movie, guys. Like, you've got to do things a little bit different. Just a little bit. But don't get too cute, because that's where you start getting real messed up. So, but on TA, we are getting a nice, big, engulfing candle on a 4-hour. It's coming up over here on this 200 MA. It's looking real nice. Let's look out on the daily. Let's get this out of here. The daily, we are coming up on the 200, though. That's one a lot of people watch. So,
you think it's going to crest there, like right at the 200, and maybe drift back down to like 6? I wonder where the next support level is going to be. Like after it, so let's say maybe it breaks 8,000. It goes above the 200 day. It would swoop up maybe to 8. I'm not sure. What support level would you see for the higher end of where it might stop?
Well, here we go. So this is called a Fibonacci like projection, pretty much, for trying to look where price action, like he's talking about, like the levels that maybe we potentially could be going to as stops or targets. And so if you do that on just this recent little pullback here, and you can measure it from this one too, or even this one, but I like to start from the smallest one and then go outwards. But if you take the smallest one, then the first target, which is where it almost closed at exactly, and I actually haven't even drawn this until right now. This is pretty awesome right there. Close right above it. So that's your first target when it does officially break out of here. You could have drawn this thing on here before this candle even broke out.
Yeah.
Or this one.
That's super clear. That's on a day, man.
Yeah, like this is it's Fibonacci is real stuff. I mean, it's in nature, it's in our body, it's in what else is it in, JJ? Do you know, like everything?
Yeah, it goes way deep down in sacred geometry.
Plants.
It gets spiritual.
It does get spiritual, man. Bro. All right, so here you go. So there's 2618. The next target is going to be about 8,000. I like to round. We don't need to be like it's 8,054. That's dumb. We can call that 8,000.
Yeah.
I like to move in hundreds at pretty much the minimum. I almost like to go in 500s at these price levels because it's Bitcoin, y'all. It moves $300-400. Like what? Oh yeah, that just happened.
Just be happy to get 30%. You don't need a nickel and dime the last few.
So that's the next target. And if we're gonna get real bullish, 88 and then 92.
Ooh, 92.
So, and if we scroll back, let's see what that looks like against past price action.
Back in
92 puts us almost to this recent sell-off here. But before it gets there, let me tell you where there's going to be resistance is this Fibonacci number right here, this 618 at 83.40. We'll call it 83. So I'm really going to combine these two right here. That's going to be serious resistance, guys, right here. I'm going to go ahead and block that in. Let's go ahead and do that right now. We're making it. Put a little dimmer red, though, so it doesn't just, like, really be annoying. All right, so there we go. Boom. So there's kind of the targets. Go ahead and get rid of all this fib stuff because it's so noisy. I just like to get the – I like to map stuff with fib like that and then draw boxes.
I don't know. I saw the top box at 94. That makes me believe it's going to go to 94.
Oh, the 4. Okay, yeah. You're feeling a little extra bullish?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I'm thinking –
this is some momentum right here. If we maintain this, guys, like
I think,
let's go to the – here we go. The 850, which is close to like a 12. It's one I really like to use. And you can pretty much call it a 12 if you want. You know, this trajectory right here, if we can just kind of keep that up, yeah, it could totally happen.
I think anybody that holds out, there could be a candle that could close up there. Like some lucky soul could close an order up there. But it's going to be – this is going to happen real fast.
Let's go ahead and bring that box right down to the moving average here, the really important one, the longest term one, 200. So – put it right there at it, guys. This is the big box, big monster. It's a hard level on a video game that you like to play that you lost. Maybe Dark Souls. I don't know if y'all play that, some kind of game along those lines, RPG style. That's the thing that you've spent 17 rounds on, and it really pisses you off. That's where it's going to happen, the battling.
I wish I had gone long at 63.
Yeah, everybody wanted to go long at 63. They probably should have. I think it was a great long. This isn't my favorite moving averages. My favorite moving averages will actually be on this next chart if y'all want to see that one. And how I use it, it was saying it confirmed long at 65.
Nice.
66.
That's totally almost right on the money.
That's pretty good. And to put that in perspective, actually, I was getting a little bit excited, and I said this, I think, in my second video, that in episode 2, that when this happened, it had not happened since April 11th. Okay, so that means that there's bulls are kind of like, oh hey, we're still here, man. Like, don't sleep all the way on us and trample it up. This is really nice, but look at this business. Actually, let's throw on some volume profile real quick. And oh crap. So volume profile, you know, we talked about
an awesome looking metric.
Yeah, volume profile is amazing. I touched on that a little bit last night, and that kind of, or no, actually, I'm sorry, in episode 3, the one last night I had to pull down, but the audio is just so bad, guys. I couldn't even listen to it. I'm gonna try to see if I can fix it somehow and take some clips out, but because there was some good content in there, but it was just too, like, I couldn't even like listen to it. You know, I was just like, oh my god, what the hell is this? But here we go. We talked about volume profile a little bit. We even talked about this point of control since the 18. Here we are. We're coming right at it. There's a lot. Again, guys, this goes right with that box that I just drew randomly from Fibonacci. It's funny. Everything's lined up a lot of times. Where are we at? Totally unrelated. 85, 78. And where are we at right here? 8,086. I mean, that's pretty damn close. So
yeah.
and the POC is 84, 8,500. Oh, like I said, though, watch out. We're hitting this resistance here. This is going to be important. I know no one's really looking at the 12 to 15-hour time frames, but I found that that range is very well founded to use. As you can see here, it was almost good, right? Everyone thought it was going to be good again. Make Bitcoin good again.
It's nice to see the 200-day at least flattening a little bit.
It is. It looks like it's starting to curl around and turn. That is a great observation. Yeah. JJ, I like that. We also had a cross here. When you get these are real important. These are called T crosses or T trend line crosses. That's something I don't really hear a lot of people talk about. But, all right, let's say this action hadn't happened yet. You do the same thing. They start making this pattern. It's a trend line. It's bouncing off of it. Yeah, it's steeper here, and probably at one point you had it maybe like this, right? But you have to change it. If it breaks this, it's done. That's over.
Yeah, you gotta let it go.
And you gotta let it go. And I've talked about this in almost every video, and I probably will keep saying it. Change is the most important thing to being successful in trading. You cannot hold on to a belief or like when you're wrong, you're wrong. And you can go down, you can hodl all the way down to 95% if you want to, but price action told you were wrong when you were down like 20, 30%. And you got to get out of those, man. There's always a better opportunity. Always.
These trend line crosses, especially when trading by this, just takes tons of discipline.
Like, it does, as does trading, but as does life and any kind of true found success, right? Because I think if you can be a really good trader and do it successfully and actually pay bills from it, which is extremely hard and unlikely, but if you can, you have got a hold of yourself very well, I would say. It's almost like going to therapy for like 10 years or something. But anyway, back to T crosses. Let's check this out again. So we got this T cross fails. Boom. There it is. So that's a very important level of business. We didn't even get, we kind of got close right here. Oh, excuse me. We kind of got close right here, but it didn't work out. And if you look at it, coincides with the top volume profile and the major, okay, so when it's orange and green like this, that means most of the business was done here, the majority of half of that range. As you can see, it fades out. This is just shading this color, so.
And that 200-day was clearly going 90 degrees south.
Yeah, here?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, in here too, is what you're saying, I guess, coming up into this.
It just didn't look like it was going to.
It had a little bit here.
Yeah, I wish it.
It's but then it came up, even failed the trend line that you had before, most likely.
Dude, that's.
And most of your moving averages, and got weak fast and made a new low right here. Like, if you're still holding on to something like this, and I have done it way too many times for trading for over 6 years now, about to be 7 years. I still do that. It's so dumb. I just do it way less than I used to do it. That's the trick.
That's all that counts.
That's all that counts, and that means you're improving. So don't get beat up. A lot of people just quit trading because they lose because you're not doing what you should. Man, so volume profile, just zooming in a little bit on the tightness. Look at this, guys. Look how fast it just gapped through this. That's literally one candle. That's why volume profile is real handy on any time frame you look at, because you know that once it's banging up, and we all were looking at it. I know y'all were at 68, 69, 7,000. We were all talking about it, and it finally did it, but it did it with a punch in your face.
Yeah.
What do you think, JJ? Talk to me.
Back in April 1st, there were a ton of alts that I like to watch that just on that 30-day from April 1st when the downtrend was happening that you were pointing out a second ago.
Here?
If we line up to April 1st, what people were thinking and feeling, because there was a lot of alts that just
April 1st is right
did great in April. A lot of people saw that and were starting to cash out, and there's just like library. And I pushed out. I didn't go long at 6,300 on BTC like my gut told me that I should have, and I bought library. But you know what? I'm happy with my 15% on library.
Yeah, can't be mad about that.
No, I'm not mad.
No, don't ever be mad about making money, guys. I know that's one of the most dangerous times that you can enter trades, because you're going to be very emotional. You'll be like, well, if I would have just cashed out when Ripple was 350, that would have been great. But yeah, okay, dude, no one does that. No one buys. No one bought like right here and then sold right here. Oh, because what happens? What if it goes up to 8,500 tomorrow? They don't, like, no one knows shit. All right, you just gotta play the cards that you have with the information and put yourself in the best position. Like,
but I wish that I'd had a 50x Deribit long open. That would have been pretty bomb.
Yeah, I wish I had a 50x Deribit short open right here.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda.
That's right. Hindsight's 2020. But this looks great, guys. Look at this. Look where that trend line cross was too. Right at about 66, which it had battled a lot around that area. Here's 66 right around here. That's literally splitting all of this business. So yeah, guys, check that out. Maybe I'll do a video on those soon. Trend line cross. I'm going to make a note of that because I think those are really important and something I haven't really heard people talk about. And it's so easy to do. Yeah, it's so easy to do.
It's I view it as such like it's just an elementary, like, basic thing to follow. There's a lot of action that happens between crosses, but those two crosses are just like the starting signal.
Yeah, and just out of nowhere too, it's like, oh, well, I did not mean to do that. You can see my history real quick. Look at this. The T-line cross, even from this, was proving its validity by it basing right here before this even happened, before this cross could even become a thing. It was.
I don't know.
It was a thing.
I don't just trade the cross lines.
Yeah, a lot. That's I learned that from, man, where did I learn that from? A long time ago. I can't even remember. It might have been at like some kind of conference or something, or maybe it was just a trading buddy here locally at the AAFT. I'm gonna say that 3 times fast. Anyway, let's get back to some Bitcoin. Let's look at lower time frames. Let's see if we get any like early divergence right now. We came out of the cloud. We blew through it on the hourly. I don't trade the hourly. I say that frequently. I am at least 4 hours. On Bitcoin, hourly can chop you up pretty nasty. Like, let's say you're over here. I'm not really sure what kind of strategy you can use in this unless you really are scalping the heck out of stuff. And good for you. Scalping's a tough biz.
Yeah.
Let's see if we've got any divergences. Nope. Everything looks really solid, guys. We even have a little vol spike in the middle of this pump, which I'm not, like, that's not a bad thing. Do not forget, and people don't understand this, of one of the main Twitter guys, I can't even remember his name, Sharibi or something. He was at a bar, I guess, one time I was at, and I was talking about VIX and Bitcoin being related in their upside volatility potentials, and he tweeted, I guess, while he was there, saying there's some jackass at the bar talking about how Bitcoin was like VIX, and we were all like, wait, there can't be that many people in Austin doing that. We looked around, and we saw him over there, and it was pretty funny.
Well, that son of a bitch was wrong.
Well, people don't understand, like, upside volatility, like upside risk, like when something, like certain things have risk to the upside. Like, we're scared that the value of your car or the laptop or something you buy is going to go down in value, so you want to get rid of it maybe faster. It can go to zero. Something like a commodity, for example, oil or gold or corn or something along those lines, it's never going to go to zero. There always will be value for it. It's actually more prone to do, like, for it to just go crazy to the upside because maybe there was a bad storm for corn and it, like, wiped out 60% of the supply or something like that. So that's where Bitcoin is at. It's not going to zero, guys. It could go low as hell. Like, it could even go below 1,000 from where it is right now.
Yeah, that could happen, but it's not zero.
But it won't be zero. The explosiveness is to the upside. Imagine if we printed how much? 800 or 900 billion dollars for TARP. At one point, we were printing like 150 billion a month and pumping it into the economy. Imagine if you did that just to Bitcoin and crypto in general. Like if you put 100 billion a month into it, that would double almost the market cap of Bitcoin and some of the smaller ones instantly.
And that's exactly what happened in November and December of last year.
And that's what can happen again. It can get crazier now. Once an ETF and like the right protocols are lined out for for the trillions of dollars that is going to go into this space, it's inevitable. I don't even know. Like going to, it's people is like, oh, that's crazy, and they would love it, but it's totally doable, guys, for Bitcoin to just be in literally two to 5 days at 10,000 from here. Like it totally could, because I mean, you look at this over here, and what was that? Boom, and like after it started getting a little crazy, and I know we're not at all-time highs right now, but just for example, you don't really even have to be. You can see Bitcoin just really has a nice history of popping and getting crazy. But, you know, a few days go by, you're up 40%. We're already up 20%. So, and we're piercing this cloud. If we get past this cloud, and I'm not a big cloud guy, but man, if we can get past this, we probably will run up and test mid 8,000s.
Can you think of any other asset that performs like this that's out there right now?
VIX.
That's
dude, I'm telling you, VIX does it, but it's a little faster and it goes down more. That's the only thing. It blows up like Bitcoin, but it just crashes super fast. Like just for example, like we want to just pull up a VIX chart, and you do need to use the cash price of VIX. So you can see that it doesn't get to hold its value because it doesn't have store of value like Bitcoin, and that is one big difference. That is for sure. But the price action mimics it sometimes.
It does look very similar.
So if Bitcoin, or if like the VIX and volatility had a store of value, then it would actually have an upward trajectory. But it's there to push off and shift risk and hedge and do other things. And what's interesting, though, is Bitcoin could be said to be having the same classification, though. If we recall different financial crises like Cyprus, Bitcoin and cryptos went wild. What else do we have? Venezuela, all these different currency crises. It seems that cryptocurrency is viewed as kind of a savior for that issue.
I certainly do view it in that regard.
Yeah, and so VIX is kind of the same same-ish way. And, you know, it's pretty interesting. You know, it just blows up. Once it starts going, it gets crazy, and then it bleeds out over time, right? But let's not also forget, you got to look at every other I don't mean it like degrading or negative connotation, but like traditional markets, I should call them, that they go, like it goes up and then it sells off. But Bitcoin has done that. But like I said, again, it goes on an upward trajectory because VIX doesn't have store value. You can't buy VIX at 10. Like you think you could go in here and buy it down here and just hold it until it pop. You won't. It doesn't work that way.
That's like 9 years.
Right. This is exactly since the crash in 08, the financial crisis. So yeah, that's just some food for thought. It does have the explosive upside risk, which is what Bitcoin and VIX share. But anyway, let's look at some Ethereum. Ethereum's looking pretty good. Coming up on the cloud, though, right here. Everything else looks pretty good, though. We're actually, ADX is coming up positive. RSI looks fine. We are, it's over 50. It's okay. We're about to cross over the 50 as well on the moving average, and we already cleared my moving average, so that's looks pretty good. How about some lower time frames? See if there's any hidden divergences yet. Nope, everything looks strong, looks really good. Volume's going up, everything's pointing up. Looks great. I don't see any bad things about that, so I'm not even going to go to the 1 hour. Ripple, I'm going to do Litecoin real quick. I like to just start with the top three.
For sure.
And then we'll go into any kind of fun ones. So Litecoin's funny. I think even the other day I talked about how it was like a really ugly chart. And it is, guys. Look at this chart. Super ugly. But I kind of liked it because it was super ugly. No one likes it, right?
Sure.
That means there's opportunity, right? So, but here we go. Popped hard. If you got any of this, good job. Nice one. That was one of the big percent movers. Here we go. We're over on the daily. We're coming right up on it, though. So careful. In the clouds right behind it. So careful. This is still, let's measure it, a 26% gain. So it's outperforming Litecoin Bitcoin just slightly, though, just a little bit. So careful, though. Litecoin showing that. Ethereum was in the same boat. Let's look at on the 4-hour on Litecoin. Looks better on the 4-hour. Litecoin does look good on the 4-hour. I'm not surprised. We're looking at it right in the middle of a big run. All right, let's go to some random coins that you want to talk about. Hit me with one.
Let's see Ripple real quick.
Ripple.
You
want to do dollar? Or actually, real quick on Litecoin, let's do Bitcoin pairs. I've got a couple people say I should do that.
I still look at them.
Yeah, I actually almost exclusively look at those for other coins outside of the top ones. So, but we should look at all of them. I think that's important. I had a little rant about that the other day. It might have been in last night's. It was a really good one, though. I hope I can maybe salvage it. Maybe I can put it in Audio City and work some magic on it. But yeah, Litecoin on Bitcoin pair doesn't look as good on the 4-hour. It doesn't look that great on the daily. Does not look real awesome. Actually, hold on. This is Binance, so this is not going to be good data. We need to go to something like Coinbase will work for right now.
Coinbase, fine.
Although, Coinbase, only back to 16, really?
Man, that's only when they added LTC.
Yeah, that's actually kind of crazy.
Geez, welcome to the party.
Yeah, well, yeah, hey. I mean, I think, like, Bitfinex has it back in the day, because I remember trade. Yeah, look at that. Wow, yeah, wow. What a little tidbit of info to fall onto real quick. Coinbase, you slow. Oh, head of the curve. Yeah, they are. They're fast. Watch out. Bitcoin, Litecoin. There is a line right here for sure. Little trend line. It might have got broken. It depends how you draw it. If you use Wix, it still has some room. I like to kind of split it all, but like I showed y'all earlier, I'm a little looser with trend lines anyway. But yeah, it doesn't look as good on a Bitcoin pair. So yeah, I guess you could argue though it hasn't really looked good on a Bitcoin pair. So
they sort of move their
like
price
right
action.
here.
Like just looking at the Litecoin chart a moment ago, I wrote down short. I've actually got into Litecoin about 2 weeks ago, but that looks like a short signal to me for LTC. But long for BTC to like 90, not 9100, but like maybe 8100. I'm kind of an adventurous bull though.
How about some Ethereum, Bitcoin? Let's look at that one. Looks a little better. Not great though. That's why I was saying I found just in my experience that Ethereum, Litecoin, Bitcoin, I pretty much like to look at in USD pairs, and then almost everything else I look at in both. Unless it's top ranking, XRP I will look at in both. Bitcoin Cash I'll look in both.
I'll look at a lot of smaller cap alts in BTC.
Yeah, you pretty much. I think it's better that way.
The ratio of volume, like BTC is so much higher volume. Something like, say, a library. I've been shilling library for like years now.
Oh wow! Dang it! I knew it. I was needing some accumulation time. You can't move around all that hypothetical money fast enough sometimes, guys. And then this just happens, and you're like, I knew. I was talking about Ripple being awesome here. It looks great. No one was talking about it, but we are getting close to closing above it on the daily. Let's chop it down to the 4. Looks great. We're up here and overbought. Oh my gosh, it's overbought. Sell it all, right? No, that's not how that works. It can stay overbought for a long time. You need to know when it comes out of overbought and comes back below 50. Otherwise, it doesn't matter. RSI can go up, come down to 65, 58, and then go back up to 80 or higher, and the trend keeps continuing. That's a little trick with RSI. If it breaks like now right here, let's just open it up. I'll show you. So now it's broken up above, and it's overbought, as everyone will call it, but it's deeper than that. It takes a little bit more finesse. Let's go ahead and put a horizontal right there. We don't need a red one though. Let's kind of make it like the other ones. Let's go gray. There we go. So now after breaking this and then getting into overbought, it's not really going to get any negative momentum until it comes down and breaks to 50. Likely what it'll do is something like this. It'll be up here like this, come down, do like this, maybe like that, come down. But once it does this and then comes back up, this move right here, that means now you need to watch out.
It looks like kind of a deranged smiley face.
A deranged smiley face? Yeah, so watch out for the deranged smiley face pattern. It's a really important one. But you'll generally get some action like that, something along those lines. But the point is, no matter how it happens, if it came down right here and did it, then it's losing the momentum. It's not about if it just crosses over 70. That's really novice to think that. But that's how they teach it, though. And that's okay. There's so much BS in the finance world. It's disgusting, really. I don't even want to go there. So back to Ripple on the 4-hour. Looks great. Looks nice. We're breaking out. We haven't seen ADX this high or RSI this high since, looks like, early summer, early June, and also in April, which April we all know that was nice. It was a big move. Let's check it out on Bitcoin pair. You got any thoughts while we check it out on Bitcoin pair?
It's probably going to look a lot like Ethereum. No, it does not. It's just a downtrend. That's weird. Oh, yeah. No, I'm kind of seeing this shape right here.
That's
like this triangle down, triangle down.
Triangle down. Okay. Looks like some interesting, crazy sell-off triangle patterns. Yeah, these are definitely wild patterns. Wow, right? Wow. Way to go, Ripple. Let's see what that is, just out of curiosity of the measured move, and look at some fib. So there we go. Look at that. We're battling this fib. 618 is resistance, and 786 is still well below what we have punched in as resistance, which if you go back to previous price action, a lot of business done here. You know what makes this real easy, actually, guys? So you don't have to look at charts as much. You can just do that, pull up volume profile. And that is a specific volume profile. That is VPVR, as in Robert. That will be on TradingView. I think you do have to have Pro or the middle one to access that. That is considered a premium feature. It is worth it. You should just do it. It's not that expensive.
TradingView, sponsor us. Sponsor us, TradingView. We love you.
Hey,
we love you.
I will only do that with things I really, truly, awesomely like. Here you go. Look at this business, guys. All right here, even above this old spike, which I would consider the definite main floor. So, but you're having a lot of awesome biz here. So let's see what happens. Let's actually look at volume profile with USD pair on Ripple, and then we'll move forward. Not near as beautiful. Also, not near as much data either, though. So let's see if we can find. Bitstamp probably has more data on Ripple. They do. They have it back when it was. Yeah, that's right, guys. 0.006 cents. Yes.
Sub-penny.
Sub-penny. That's right. It was sub-penny. And this is, if you didn't know, about $3 plus. Let's just leave it at that. And if you're already mad, I can I can sense it.
In about 5 years, we'll be like, man, look at it when it was $3.
Okay, let's pull it back out to when it was sub penny. Where's the business done? Look at that, guys. That's really important to note. And this was actually a really obvious trade. Man, I think it doesn't get more textbook than what happened with Ripple in 2017. It consolidated and went sideways between 17 and about 28 cents for the whole damn year while all that biz went down.
That's exactly what Library's chart looks like too.
And
a lot of alts charts look like that.
Yeah, when you see this kind of stuff, there's big ass moves coming, and they're usually to the upside too. When especially after they come up like this and accept business and price is being accepted here now. Yeah, you're like, oh, it's going to crash hard on this. Well, you don't know that.
Yeah.
You have to wait for price to tell you. And it goes here. This is where it goes nice and sideways. And business is like, okay, the market's like, we like business here. And if you can see, the point of control is actually 21 cents. So, hell, I hope it goes down there. That would be cool. I'm sure a lot of you guys out there do. I'm sure some of y'all are like, what the hell is this guy talking about? My Ripple goes to 20 cents. I am jumping out my office window.
No, it's going at least.
And you know what? I'm sorry if you
$1.40.
did. That might be closer to a sign of a bottom. Because I think suicide is stupid. People probably hate that. I don't care. Whatever. That's my opinion. Hey, everyone can have them. Here we go.
I don't think
Bitstamp.
Ripple's going anywhere. Let's look at Stellar.
Let's look at Stellar. Hey, where did that come from? Stellar was a fork of Ripple, if y'all don't know.
Oh, actually, I forgot about that.
Yes, Stellar is a fork of Ripple. It's been out for a little while. Let's pull it up on Bittrex because I believe they actually still call it Lumens, but I believe they have the most history.
And
They
two
do?
DEXs. Two DEXs on Stellar. Stellar Port and Stellar Decentralized Exchange.
Yeah, we'll pull up Stellar Port in a second. It's pretty fancy. But as you can see, Stellar, yeah, the volume profile in this chart, if you take it all the way back, it's pretty tough. But, you know, this is a different market. Down here, this is a totally different market. 2016, I like to kind of look at 2017 and beyond now because it seems to be a little bit more important. So that bumps it up to here. Still not looking great. But, hey, it's crypto. Let's look at it on dollar because I bet you it looks a lot different on the dollar. I think Bittrex should have that. There it is. Lumen dollars, not Stellar. I guess it's Stellar Lumens. They just decided to go with only that. So there you go. It's a little bit higher, about 2 cents. We are at 27. Be careful. Clearly, if you zoom in here, this is going to just kind of fit. With 2018, we are close. This is it.
I'm seeing a breakout, especially in light of the Sharia and the FDIC thing, but maybe it'll be delayed a bit. Maybe it could be like another month or two.
Yeah, I like that. That's fair. I think that's super fair to say. And also, you know, look at these times right here. There, and there, and there. And just holding on for dear life because once it broke this area right here, this big fat bar it was all this way, dudes. Y'all saw it on the chart when I zoomed out. Even when you zoom in, volume profile is legit, guys. So, but yeah, so let's go back and look at a 4 hour, see if we're seeing any kind of hidden divergences, anything of that nature. No, we are not. Guys, pretty much most of the charts I think are going to be almost the same right now. So on that note, let's move into something that maybe isn't the same. Something that we're going to call the pre-movers, right? Something that's, or the late movers. I'm sorry, not the pre-movers. The late movers. Because not everything's gone up today yet. And let's go and see. Sometimes this is fun to do. I don't know if y'all ever do this. I'm sure you do. I just like click and see what's lost the most money today. Bancor and Bitcoin Diamond and Nebulous. So I'll go and check out Bitcoin Diamond. You know, why is it down right now? Everything else is getting crazy. And let's pull it up. And you look at it, looks pretty terrible. Don't really like it. Don't like those Bitcoin forks. So
they're possible to trade.
Bancor, I do like the idea of Bancor.
Yeah.
Let's see Bancor. Oh, did I mess that up? What is the ticker? Sorry about that, guys. It is BNT. That is not what I would have guessed. All right, here is Bancor Bitcoin. If y'all haven't noticed, either two, you guys can look at the watermark in the background of my charts, and it'll show you what we're looking at. If you come in late or something like that, etc. Here you go. Bam. See, here we go, Bancor. These are the kind of charts that I'm talking about right here. They get death. Everyone hates them. Yeah. Also, this is extra good because they got hacked or whatever.
Yeah, quote unquote.
Hacked. You know, a lot of these hacks, guys, and I want JJ to talk about this a little bit. It does happen, but it seems like most of them aren't even hacks. They are like you got phished or you did something that doesn't really have to do with the protocol, especially of the currency.
I don't think that Bancor's hack had anything to do with like any issue with the technology. And that's actually a super great point. Like if the user messes up and lets their account get phished and it's a high capital account, I mean, that could be a loss. But I think the number was around 43 million. They froze everything, which obviously proves a feature of ERC20 tokens that I don't like. I mean, maybe asset managers like that it could be frozen and wait, but you know, screw that. Let the market price fluctuate. But I don't think it had anything to do with like an underlying technology. You know, running an exchange is a monumental task, and I respect Bancor. They're going to come back online, and just everything will resume as it was before. It's great to see a DEX out there doing well and at least having a hack, and we get to see how they respond and how they bounce back and what the market really thinks about that. And I already know the market's not going to care. The moment it's back up, people have their accounts back, they're just going to start trading the way that they were before.
Yeah, and all they called it was a security breach. Like, what the hell does that even mean?
They must have just fumbled a wallet, that like a hot wallet, and it was probably an employee or someone that was a former employee. I mean, I'm just speculating. I don't know for sure. That just seems like a logical conclusion.
Yeah, and as you can see here on the Twitter sphere, something you mentioned a minute ago, one of the first comments on the top is, laugh out loud, how is your platform a DEX if you froze accounts?
It's a good point. It's still a DEX. It's just they can freeze accounts, but you're not going to see that. You're not going to see that on BitShares or Stellar Port or other DEXs. But perhaps people. I mean, Bancor has a lot of capital. I mean, if people didn't like that feature, they wouldn't use Bancor. They'd use BitShares, which is what I'd prefer. Why the fuck aren't people using BitShares? BitShares.
I know you're telling me, bro. BitShares for life.
BitShares.
We need to make like some BitShares t-shirts or something.
We do.
Yeah, I'm down with that. Let's do it. Let's make some Bitcoin, and let's just make some crypto swag. We can pick some of our favorite stuff. We got to help get this shit going, you know. I feel like I should have been doing that this whole time, but, you know, people be lazy. That's how it is. Just like I was talking about doing this cast in 2014. I was talking about doing this shit. No, lazy. And then seriously again in early 2017. Nope, didn't do it. But here we go. Let's go back to charts. Screw what, you know, I did in my life. What does that matter? Y'all don't care about that.
I care.
No, y'all probably care a little bit because that's where you get experience from. Anyway, here you go. Check this out. Bancor on the dollar and Bitcoin looks pretty much the same. We'll keep it on Bitcoin. So we clearly have a bottom here, right? At least a local bottom, right? I'm not saying this is the floor. This is never financial advice. You buy your own shit. You click the buttons. Like, come on. Like, let's have some personal responsibility here too, okay? It's like these people, BitConnect, I lost 700 grand, get a class action lawsuit for me. And it's like, dude, again, pyramid on the damn website.
I know.
So shit out of here. Like, you probably made, though, he probably put like $1,000 in it or like $10,000 and like killed it. And then he's like, oh, I never took any out.
That was like at the peak of fanfare. They had a awesome marketing campaign, but you can't just, an awesome marketing campaign isn't the whole story.
It's a big part of it, but not all of it. That is true. Can only fake it for so long, but here you go, guys. This looks pretty nice. I almost wanted to buy on that day when I heard that the hack happened. And first of all, it was like $13.5 million. Oh God!
It was only 13.
Yeah,
I could have sworn it.
Yeah, I pulled it up when you were talking about it.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, like so. Oh no. Yeah. Do we all wish we had like $1 million or $100,000? Yeah, of course, but that's not the point. You have to look back and be relative with this stuff. And you can't just compare
And the real
apples to these apples, even though they're all apples.
And the real sign of their resilience is that there could be a hack of such a high dollar amount, and they had the liquidity to cover it or refund people.
Well,
or I've seen there's a number of exchanges that have been refunding people and really compensating for the losses, and I think that's great behavior to see on behalf of even the centralized exchanges. It's just good support.
Yeah, and what about this from a technical side? You would, I think, be able to answer this question well. So you got Ethereum, Bancor, and all these DEXs are decentralized exchanges, but they're ERC20 tokens. How does that even make sense? That doesn't make sense to me. I don't get that. Like, how can you be on and underneath Ethereum directly, like a plug, like an umbilical cord to Ethereum's blockchain, and you're saying that you are a DEX?
Well, Ethereum has popularity. It's a real West Coast tech culture kind of token. It ranked high on that list of tokens that China released.
It did.
It was number 1.
Yeah, it was.
Which is, if they were able to convince those experts of quote unquote experts of its high ranking. I don't know. I respect Ethereum. The ERC20 tokens are all well documented, well supported. The meetup groups are active. It's just the community's there. That's what they know. That's what they're going to push for. It's a DEX, but it won't be the only DEX. I still won't trade Ethereum nor will I probably use the ERC. I mean, who am I kidding? I'm going to get a Bancor account the moment that they're back up. But what I would like to do is just go through my list of DEXs. We got BitShares, which is great. Waves, which is great.
Waves is nice. I've used Waves. It's great.
And Stellar, which is great. There's Stellar Port and Stellar Exchange, which I don't understand why there's two. Also, why I don't understand, there's BitShares and then CryptoBridge. CryptoBridge is the same thing as BitShares. They're both based on BitShares, but there's two DEXs. I don't know. It's just variety.
Speaking of, looking on these Chinese top, you just mentioned that, so I pulled it up a little bit, and look, two DEXs are on here, actually.
There they are.
Stellar and Waves.
What was the date on that? That was like 2 months ago, I think.
Yeah, it was May. I believe this is dated. Let me double check for you guys. We are just live, so I can just go ahead and go up here. That is on May 20th.
Wow.
So that is very recent news. So back to maybe elaborate a little bit more, if you go into more detail about, so if it's an ERC20 and it is Ethereum-based, how can it be decentralized if it's under Vitalik's stronghold?
I think the same thing and the completely unrelated token, completely other kind of product. I think the same thing of Skycoin and many other tokens that I see out there that are really led by one or two notable figures whose opinions and sentiment really can sway. You know what? That's just life, though. Any organization. You could say the same of Tesla or say the same of Apple when Steve Jobs was CEO. People just paid a lot of attention, and I don't know. I just view that as more of a West Coast culture, or just a facet of human interest and sentiment that a couple of leaders can really drive and dictate policy direction for a while. And yeah, it's good that you bring up Komodo, because there's other DEXs too. Kyber.
Yeah, I just actually was confirming that real quick because I just saw them on here. Like,
yeah, Komodo was on there too.
We missed Stellar and we missed BitShares. BitShares is actually number 12.
Yeah.
On the China, and y'all got to think this is kind of important. I mean, the Chinese, how many people are there? 3.5 billion, something like that.
Billions.
It's 3-something billion. I mean, I know it's a lot, but the point is,
I think 1.5 billion.
The point is, like, if they are like ranking these ones, I mean, look at this list here. It's actually interesting if you think about it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 are DEXs, are real DEXs, not this BS DEX. Although I'll take that back because I don't know that much about Komodo. Do you?
Yeah, Komodo is an Equihash-based token. It's a fork from ZENCash. The other Equihash tokens are ZENCash, Hush. I haven't seen much out of Hush for the past 6 months or so. There's about 7 Equihash coins that have all done well in a variety of ways. But Komodo has the ZK Snark transparent address, private address feature. But Komodo DEX doesn't really, it's also known as barter DEX. It just doesn't really have any volume. I think that they're still attempting to get their DEX software offline. You can grab it and install it. It's somewhat technical, and the exchange is there. It's just not many people have done that yet because it's not very accessible to most people who would just like Stellarport or Waves or Bancor or BitShares. These coins all have a nice app put together, or CryptoBridge. I think CryptoBridge is doing well just based on the fact that it has a kind of slightly more slick UI than BitShares. Maybe that's a kind of a shallow opinion. There's also kind of what I would say pseudo DEXs that have elements that are more centralized, like Buybox or or IDEX. I think IDEX is another ERC20 exchange.
It is, yeah. I've used it actually quite a bit, and it's pretty nice, but it's kind of like a pseudo DEX, or it's like a hybrid DEX. So you put it's directly connected to your wallet, like so you send your funds there, and they're in a wallet they're just pulling the data from your whatever you set up, a private key. You can integrate it with Nano, etc., however you make the wallet, and it's directly there, and they don't have access to that. But to trade, you have to move it into a local IDEX wallet, which is really easy to do. They have like a deposit feature. You just click like 2 buttons, and it goes in there. But what sucks about that is every time you go in between, you're almost having to pay double fees sort of to the network, because you have to deposit it into IDEX account to trade from your account, and then you can buy whatever you want, XYZ coin, from your Ethereum, and then to take that out and put it back into your wallet, whatever it is, Nano, just your private key, etc. Then you have to pay another fee to get it in there. So it's kind of redundant. It's kind of like an extra step that I don't think needs to happen, because with BitShares or Stellarport, which I've used both, those are the ones I'm most familiar with in the DEX space.
Same here.
And then none of those other ones, the Stellarport or BitShares, are like that. I don't know if KuCoin, like some of these guys pretend like they are. Even Binance talks about, like, I've heard people talk about how they're decentralized. Like there isn't, like, tell me which ones you think are decentralized. That's your kind of background.
So for the exchanges that have their own token, it's somewhat philosophically decentralized. They have a balance of capital in their local token. BNB, KuCoins is KCS. OK Exchange, they have their token. So that's like kind of a way to concentrate capital in a decentralized manner where everybody can see transparently, okay, this exchange clearly has liquidity because this token is backing it. So I view that as like kind of philosophically decentralized, but in reality, their infrastructure is not decentralized. Their servers are all going to be maintained by one entity. The services that they're running still run through kind of a traditional internet infrastructure. But BitShares, that's totally decentralized. The book is decentralized. The login process is decentralized. Your wallet address is your exchange address. It just all shares the same chain. Same for Waves. Same for Barter DEX. Same for Stellar. And then there's ones that I know less about, like BISC or Nano or Ether Delta. Bancor, like I don't know as much about those DEXs. I have accounts and I've clicked around and used them, but I mean, this is literally a dozen DEXs that have gained volume in like the last 3 months that are still in an adoption phase. So I myself am still getting acclimated. So that has to tell me that there's still a lot of discovery that needs to happen on the part of traders. Like you describing the process for IDEX just sounds too complex for most people. They're just not going to bother with all those steps. But like BitShares, Waves, costs even, you can just log right in and start trading on a DEX. And why am I going on about DEXs? Why were we talking about DEXs? Well, because the only thing you need to trade is a username and a password. They assign a wallet Your wallet is private. It's run locally. And then you can trade on a book. That's awesome.
It is awesome. And I would say that Stellar Port, here's what IDEX looks like. If y'all have never seen it, IDEX.market. They actually have their Aurora coin, which that might be IDEX's move to try to be more decentralized and get off of the ERC20 is kind of my perception on that.
That would be cool to see them try to pivot.
Yeah,
that's an interesting move.
I think that's what it is. Don't totally quote me on that. I need to dig into that, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is because they airdropped people that had money in just IDEX.
Oh, man.
Period.
And I didn't even mention Next or Ardor.
Oh man, yeah, Next and Ardor guys. These guys are slept. Let's pull that chart up actually because
Next is awesome.
I haven't looked at that chart in a hot minute. Next kind of was one of the things I got mostly excited into crypto about. Oh, and they've been around a long time. You can put a weekly chart on Next, dudes. Look at that, all the way back to 2015. There's not many coins you can do weekly charts on. To some of my more astute traders and TA guys, y'all will be like, oh man, that's awesome. You actually have data. Because a lot of these coins you pull up and it looks like this. You're like, okay, and I've got like 3 fucking days. What do I do with this?
Whoa.
All right, so it actually has some beast mode. Here you go. This is when this was a really obvious trade that no one would take. And it made me kind of like, it's like every time it happens, you know, and every time it happens, let me put that in context, when there's like a split or a fork or a drop or something like that. In this case, it was Next went to Ardor platform, and that got released for side chains, or they call them child chains. Just kind of I don't like that name. I think they should change it. Yeah. Child chains isn't really, because they're thinking the parent chain and I get the analogy. It makes sense, but it's just it just sounds kind of creepy. But anyway, so it was going to release at the very beginning of the year, late, like around pretty much New Year's. And so that's the gigantic pump that happened in it right before that, as everyone bought so they could get the free Ardor and Ignis. I'm sorry, it was actually Ignis airdrop.
Oh, oops, yeah, it was Ignis.
I'm sorry, yeah. Ardor was actually already out since back over here in 2016. It was Ignis. It was the airdrop. You had to hold Next, and you got paid. Everyone got it, dumped.
It is great. I mean,
there you go. Hey, you guys want to see the most epic one that was? Let's go ahead and pull it up. I'll tell you, it's called Z Classic. If you can't see that, there it is. Z Classic.
Oh,
same thing. Same thing, guys.
Z Classic is also an Equihash token. It's a Zcash fork. Wait, excuse me. I think Z Classic is the classic Zcash fork, and then Zcash was a newer fork. I mean, I kind of read into some of that drama, but
look at this, guys.
I don't remember.
Do you see this, though?
I do.
Do you see this? Talk about this was buy it so you could get Bitcoin private. Okay? Oh, shit. What happened? Yeah, and if y'all just want to know, this is just ridiculous moves. Like, if I'm not even taking it from the bottom. You know what? Let's just take it from the bottom right here. This closing price to this closing price. I mean, guys, y'all are talking about 15,000%. I mean,
that's the top if I ever saw one.
At the top, and that was in 62 days. And the thing about this top too is it was pretty much done. It hit here and then did a little bit, but then it was like, it just ranged. It gave you plenty of opportunity. That was like a whole month. And then goodness gracious, I'm sorry if you had to experience this, but we all do. I have experienced it more than once, more times than I should have. That's 86 from open to close in 1 3-day period. And you know what? I'm actually going to make this more mean for you guys because I remember this day vividly. I did not have a position in it at the time. I wish I could short it. I was looking for places. I did not see any because it was just too easy. So one day, peak to trough, 90%. 90%.
Man, that's bad.
Yeah, that was rough. And then it was like, that was it. It was done. It had a little pump, but that's it. Little pump, yeah. Don't listen to that guy. All right. Anyway, that is the classic. That is what I was just talking about. Sorry, I kind of digressed there a little with you get the tokens when they get at the airdrop kind of mentality or Bitcoin private. I actually think he's working on a new new project.
That gentleman.
Yeah, I actually had some friends tell me here in December,
I was watching
mid-December.
it.
They were like, dude, you need to buy some of this. I was like, what? That's dumb.
This was a good coin to mine at that time, too. Like,
it was, you're right.
If I'd have been mining that for 6 months and just waited for a top, but how would I have known that?
No, no one knows. Here's Bitcoin. Let's just check it out real quick. 1 hour. I'm looking on smaller time frames. We already did kind of the bigger time frame picture. I was letting y'all know. Here's kind of the big bad wolf resistance there. We don't have any kind of divergence. The 3 days look good. 3 day looks good. The 1 day we are coming up right on the overbought at the 70. The last time we did that, it did turn around pretty quickly. So I would like to see some good follow through right here. Maybe even only a test back to like 7 now that we're past it, like come back and test like this area. So I think that would be really healthy and give us some energy, because do be careful if this pumps and every day we have some closing candles and we do go up to 9 or 10, that's going to be really dangerous. It is going to be a very dangerous setup for a face ripper to the downside. So do be aware of that. It hasn't happened yet. Like I said, you got to go with days, see what the chart tells you. You get more information every day, and then you have to be able to take that information and process it and make a different opinion or change it or assess the issue, whatever it is. You do have to do that. And here we go, guys. Let's look at this real quick. I just noticed this while I was kind of playing around. We can already draw a channel on this. Looks like it's trying to make one. I would assume that this is about what's happening. If you want to look at that too, that is something that's just now getting printed. Again, we can remove that line. That was just for demonstration earlier.
About 8,100. That's kind of what I was thinking earlier too, just looking at it, that it could go from 74 to 81, but it'll touch it really fast. And it's already so vertical. I think it could drop down a bit.
Yeah, this is big.
It's too high. It's got to drop, but it could creep up to 81. But man, that could play all the way out to like the end of August. I don't know, maybe mid-August.
Yeah, let's put that on to the trend line there, because that should play out.
Oh, all the way into mid-September.
Yeah, we can even extend this this channel out here, guys. Look at that. Boom. That's pretty much what we're in. And if we get into that, that's going to be good. That's good news, you know. Don't think it's dangerous if we sell off from here. You know, you got to have liquidation breaks. That's how markets work.
Yeah,
things just don't go up forever. You know, this right here is not healthy. That's why we had this right after it, okay? Before that, if you take that out, though, look at how healthy that was. Up a little bit, down 30, 40%. Up a little bit, down 30, 40%. Up 30, 40. Up 30, 40. And then we went like, oh, shit, let's triple in that same amount of time. And guess what? Going up triple, the downward move is triple as well. I know there's a saying in the market, you might have heard it before, the market takes the stairs up and the elevator down, right? Sometimes Bitcoin does both, though. And that is funny because those are characteristics of upside volatility products.
So based on where you've got that timestamp there in the 20th of December, I've heard you talk about it before, but what do you think about BTC futures being offered around that same time, kind of taking away a lot of the legs to this upward trend? Like, I know that in the chart, it's clear that a drop is going to happen, but what do you think about BTC futures kind of being offered and capital inflow being transferred away from BTC volume? It kind of into just more fiat people trading BTC futures. Like, what's a hedge fund manager going to choose? Is he going to buy BTC actively, or is he going to just trade a BTC future? Something he's already able to do in terms of compliance. I would call them pussies. You should have been fucking buying Bitcoin, you bastards.
Yeah, they just can't. They just have different. It's all these stupid regs that like some people want, and they're like, oh, we need to clean the scams, but then like they didn't want those before everyone cared about Bitcoin pre-summer of last year. So it's like this and I mean that's literally just 1 year ago. Like
I would rather have the healthy growth anyway.
The healthy growth is better. This got just out of control, and that's just what happens, man. This is market psychology. This is trading. This is like Amazon did this a bunch of times. Everything did this a bunch of times. That has made it in the long run because there's growth spurts, you know. And again, don't think that this cannot come down to here or here. Like, it is definitely possible. Anything is possible in trading. We do look good though right now.
Especially if there's.
I'm thinking about taking off a little bit of my paper trading positions right here. I think this is a good place to do that. That's what I'm going to do, is at least do some trimming of my hypothetical paper account.
I noticed that. So I get Crypto Compares emails. They do just market update emails, and I think they're really well written.
They are well written. I've read those. They are nice.
One thing that I noticed over the past couple of weeks is that BTC JPY pairs, which is to say Japan, the volume has been like 50 to 60% of daily volume, and it's down to 43% right now. I don't hear it talked about in a lot of places, but Korea and Japan are like over half of all daily volume in crypto. But to hear about possible inflow of Arabic money, you know, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Turkey, Syria, a lot of those, Qatar, a lot of the oil-rich nations that are still, they're certainly watching these events play out. They have asset managers too. And, you know, they like profit just like anyone else. It's interesting I'd be interested to see if there could be like a BTC, you know, Saudi pair, like a BTC Qatar pair, or Iranian pair.
What did you just mention about the volume thing? What was that?
So BTC JPY pair has dropped down to 43% as of July 16th. That was 2 days ago.
No, that can't be right. Read that again. The BTC pair represents a 43% share.
Okay, share.
Share. So that means that Bitcoin to yen, Japanese yen, that's pretty much almost half the market. And I think we've known that for a little while. Once the really big bull run actually got started when the Japanese quietly mentioned that they're accepting Bitcoin as legal tender. And no one really pumped that out. And did you notice that when that happened? It kind of was under the radar, and then all of a sudden, about a month later, it was everywhere that it was that. But like, it had happened like a while before. It's like no one. I don't know if the timing was bad on it, but it was definitely interesting. I remember even thinking about it back then. That it was interesting.
I've gone through some of the TA lit that's been written in academia, and a lot of it comes out of Japan. Like, they seem to really love currency trading and forex trading in general.
They do. They actually are big traders.
Yeah, they love currency trading. They adopt technology at a faster pace than the rest of the world, including in Korea is very similar in their behavior. They just have taken to it very quickly. They trade it. You know, conversely, there's a lot of volume out of China, but China behaves differently. They're mining. They're definitely watching the markets and making estimates on what's a high performer, what they think will go their way. But I don't think there's many traders in China, to be honest. I think that it's mostly the mining operations, and most of the trading is being done out of Korea, Japan, the Philippines. There's a lot of merchant services out of the Philippines.
That is true. Yeah, that's a really good point.
I'm fascinated to see what the Arabic world would do if they entered cryptosphere, because they'll have their own touch on what kind of services they would want. The same with when the West really steps it up and adopts crypto. I mean, I don't think there's any. I don't know for sure. Honestly, I don't I haven't looked into it too closely, but I don't think there's a European presence for crypto. It's largely going to be West Coast U.S., maybe New York, Chicago, New Jersey, definitely here in Austin.
Here's an interesting thing. You're talking about the Middle East and Saudi Arabia, etc., about the crypto and how they could maybe like integrate that with their markets. What about Bitcoin, crypto, oil pairs and energy pairs? There's already a big problem with that now, that they don't like how it's pegged to USD. I think there's a very big chance that they could possibly use crypto. And I mean, think about it. Venezuela did it. And they did a similar thing off of energy because that's, you know, their thing. But not like their thing like Saudi Arabia and the Middle Eastern countries. And what's interesting too, there is chatter right now that the IPO for Saudi Aramco is going to not happen this year. And my guess would be if that doesn't happen this year, because that was the most sought after IPO, it was going to be the biggest one in the world. What if it's not an IPO? What if it's an ICO? And that probably sounds a little bit crazy, but why wouldn't they do it? It would be easier to facilitate, and they would be able to get every investor that they want, and they don't have to be responsible for if I bought it from here or someone else bought it from somewhere else or you bought it from a different country. You're under your own jurisdictions. They're not going to go out and pursue that, but they'll damn sure take your $100 or your $100,000 or your $1 million. It doesn't matter to them.
And there's really a lot of great engineering expertise out of a lot of Arabic countries. Like they really have some phenomenal engineering talent. I've went to school with a lot. Here in Texas, a lot of them are sent here to go to school, and I've met many that I was really very impressed by just their ability to grasp problems and solve. I would just be fascinated to see how the companies in those countries would solve some of these problems based with this technology, because it's free and open source. Anyone can use it. Same with Africa. Same with Europe. If Europe ever did something relevant.
Well, they do have a European. Bitcoin has had an ETF over there for a little while now. So
I guess that's true.
I mean, you know, Europe just quietly does stuff. That's their kind of gig. They're just like, oh, what? We're just chilling here. The UK, oh man, fish and chips.
What's up? I'm totally not an expert on European markets at all, so
yeah,
I shouldn't even speak to it.
Yeah, they, you know, Amsterdam and the Dutch are very involved. I mean, one of the major exchanges in the world is in Amsterdam. I mean, they pretty much created a lot of modern financial products, but they created them hundreds of years ago, though. That's what's pretty impressive about the Dutch. They are incredibly smart and strong peeps. They made it happen. Modern finance in large, and insurance and other things are in large part due to their
I remember
work.
seeing a voting app come out of the Ukraine through all the conflict they've been going through recently. A group there still found the time to be entrepreneurial about a lot of crypto projects. There was a voting app that I saw out of there. A few other things.
I actually have a friend that works in the space at a blockchain company that's close to us, and he's from Ukraine. He's told me some pretty cool stories about like how, you know, he's like, man, I've lived through quite a handful of the world's ending moments where we had to wait in line for food, but he's like, you know, eventually everything does get sorted out. And he's like, out of all those times, he's like, they never last usually more than a month. And, you know, of course, Venezuela, that wasn't the case. But, you know, for somewhere like Ukraine to say that, I don't know, it's kind of interesting to me.
Yeah, I've worked with a Ukrainian engineer before, and he was like one of my favorite coworkers ever. He was super smart.
Yeah, this guy is extremely intelligent. Let's check out some Bitcoin action here.
How about some Doge action?
We will look at that in a minute. I wanted to just point out this ADX DMI line. I have not gone into that. I will make a video about that very soon, so y'all can understand a little bit more what I'm looking for. And this is something that I just kind of, I didn't create, obviously, the DMI or the ADX or anything. I've just analyzed it a lot over many different types of products and noticed there are certain levels of it. And so I've added my own horizontals to the ADX indicator. Just kind of like, think of it, if you go to 80 or 70 plus on RSI, that's considered overbought, 30 below, oversold. There's like certain thresholds, and they're not that as simple either as that, even though RSI, as I explained earlier, is not that simple either. So let's check this out here. I'll make this a little bit bigger. So we've got a big, nice, huge pop in ADX or on DMI positive, which is the green, and the red is DMI negative. The ADX line is on here, but I actually have it turned off because I don't really use it. It doesn't really matter to me. That's not how I use it. I like the combo though because it's easier. It prints them all in the same one. Anyway, so one of the thresholds is about 25, 26, and we blew past that. We actually blew past it from the other threshold, which is about 16. And so we went, and these numbers probably sound crazy, but like I said, I will make a video talking about it, but just ride with me here for a little bit. We've popped to plus 30. And let's just compare this level right here. I'll even put a horizontal on there real quick just so y'all can see it easier because, you know, TradingView is awesome like that, and you can just, you know, boom, boom, add things, bam. So across the board, there you go. That bright green line on the bottom I just made is about where we have spiked to. So let's go back and just kind of check to see when the last time that happened was. We have one right here to it. Not near as violent as this one is. This one is incredibly forceful. And this one is gradual. And you see it kind of rolled over, made a little rounded top. It's a pretty basic pattern there of a topping formation. But that was the last time we were even above the 25 threshold. Even back here, I highlighted it because it kind of tried to battle. The bulls did, but it never broke. You might not be able to see it. Let me erase that. It never even broke the 25 threshold. So they didn't really get it. This is actually between the 15-ish and the 25-ish. I call that like kind of the battle zone. Like if they're both in there, there's no one's winning yet until one falls below and one goes above. And so here we go. We can go back. So since we had one time, but it's not as forceful. We want something that looks a little bit more similar. So we go back. Here we go. Here's one right here that was very similar. Had a little break in it, but jolted up to actually a little bit higher, came down, and that was actually the beginning of the next leg up. Now, are we at all-time highs? No, we are not. Are we breaking out of some we also were in a bull market though too, so it's different. Are we breaking out of like some negative price action? Absolutely. So let's just check every time that it went over this. And I was looking at this earlier, talking to JJ about it. And if we got this time over here over, right, and you measure all these, most of these don't go past a 618 retracement. And let's see what that is in percentage move. It's about 40%. What do we got here? Peak to trough is about 33%. Let's see what this one is. Oh, sometimes it does that on log. If y'all use log, you know what I'm talking about. It does crazy stuff.
I haven't used log.
About 40%. Yeah, so you haven't used log? No?
No, I haven't explored it. Not at all.
So yeah, log is better. So let's look at log just real quick. I won't get too I won't digress too far from this point. But yeah, let's look at log, big screen. We'll even go full screen. Look at this big. I should have did that earlier. Sorry about that. I usually have been good about that. But here we go. We got full screen. If you look at this is log, and you can see it looks more gradual, but some of these are like 50% move downs or 40. If you take log off, look at it now. So it becomes impossible now to really see the magnitude of these moves. And you only get to focus on like this one crazy time for 2 weeks that it popped up. But what about all of this? This is really relevant price action. There's log. Now I can see that it went up to 1100 and crashed down to 750. I can see that it went to 13 and then went down to 875 again. And I can see that it still went from right here when it was breaking out 25 to 20,000. But if I go back to here, look, I can't even see like barely any of that. It's really tiny.
That's a useful metric for sure.
Yeah, like professional traders pretty much use log all the time, especially when you're looking at longer term. Because what the hell, like let's go longer term. What the hell does this chart mean? This doesn't mean shit. Like look at all this. Like, oh, you have this one little blip. Look, this is, oh, sorry. I know there's a lot of stuff on here, but this little blip right where the crosshair is right there, this is the all-time high before in 2013, okay? So what the hell kind of info are you going to get from this chart?
Let's see the log.
If you pull it on a log, oh damn, I can see everything. I can see where it flash crashed one day to $1. Okay? To me, that's way more valuable. And I took a while. I used to only use linear actually until I got a little bit more serial. And now I pretty much only use log. I do use linear occasionally to measure certain things because the trend lines will be different. If you notice here, this trend line will look different. If I turn it off here, it's like steeper, right? It goes down. Put it back on. See that? It changes the trend lines the most.
What is log?
All the indicators, everything else is the same though.
What does log look like on a smaller time frame, like say 4 hour?
4 hour.
Is it?
Yeah, because we're on a day. It's the same.
Oh wow, so it's useful all the way down to smaller.
It's the best. Just say I said. There you go. Look, I'm switching between log, 4 hour,
Slightly
and
better performance on the channel.
Oh yeah, you can see where the channels are different. See where I'm drawing them, and all it's doing in that is it's changing the way the scale's done. Yeah. It's not in block percentages. These can be dynamic, and the distance between here and here can be different than the numerical value here and here. That's the difference. In linear, it's like every single block is 3% or 1%, period, no matter how much it moves. But that's where you lose a lot of the good movement, though.
Yeah.
You can't see it. It's important to see the big picture, guys, the big picture. All right, so here you go. Boom. Again, we're coming up into there. And now off to one of our favorite things. I wish I had a little soundboard right now to do something for your favorite coin, Dogecoin.
So wow.
So much not having a soundboard.
Yeah.
Not wow.
Some Canadian bros threw a Doge party.
Did they? Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I did hear about that. Look at this nice pop. Consolidation pop. Consolidation poppity pop. It's doing its thing. We can go 3-day out on Doge. We actually can do weekly Doge. It's mostly bot traded. Cleans up the chart a little bit. And yeah, Doge has been around that long. I know you want to make fun of it. You're probably just new to this game. Go ahead and catch up.
Make fun of Doge.
Never make. Say that again.
I would never make fun of Doge.
That's right.
You don't stomp on sub-Satoshi tokens.
Yeah, and plus you don't stomp on community like Doge has.
Nope.
How many coins do you know sponsored a NASCAR? They literally had Doge printed on the hood, and you're probably like, "You're crazy, bro. That never happened." Well, you know what? Let's just go ahead and show you because we have magic internet time. Look at this. Oh my gosh. It's actually on the back of the car. It's on the side of the car. Here it is racing. Look at that. What
Doge.
Community got together and you're like, it's fake. Look, there's a real Doge.
A real Doge driving a sports car.
Driving the Doge car. It's not fake, y'all. It's not fake.
And I'll bet he loves Fig Newtons too.
There he does. Look, there he is again, sitting in it. You know, he's getting it in. No, but guys, seriously, it was real. It did happen. Not the dog driving it, of course. Jeez. Here's a shot. One day Doge. Doges will drive. Yeah, there's a tiny. I thought the picture would be better, but there's an article right there. I mean, this is a real thing, guys. I know it's crazy. It seems wild.
Can you pull up our...
But what? This dude's even wearing... Look at it. He's got the Doge on the patch. All right, name a crypto right now in the comments. Do it. That has a NASCAR. No. Doesn't happen. I'll give you nothing. I'll give you a big high five on an emoticon for that one.
Yep. Maybe
someday get it larger. If we do, then I would actually do little promos for stuff, little cool little trivia things like that. I think get like $20 or something in Dogecoin.
Yep. There's gonna need to be a swag store.
Oh yeah, we're definitely gonna be doing the swag. I'm working on some slogans for that actually right now. I've got some couple ideas. When I get some more, I'll let y'all know. Dogecoin, here it is. It's badass. See if we see any divergences. Dogecoin looks ugly on the low time frames though, because it's so body. Look how body it is. It's just like that.
Looks like a cactus.
Bots everywhere. So I pretty much just do daily on the Doge. The daily Doge. It'd be like a segment. The daily Doge. Here you go. Great divergence on the DMI. Great divergence on the RSI. Look at that. Couldn't be more clean, especially after it finally popped. And then, I mean, that's even a good trade up to here. I mean, you know, sometimes just waiting for that confirmation, guys, is totally worth it. Like, don't, everyone's buy high, sell low. That's stupid. That's dumb. Everybody says that. You can totally, the safest trade is actually buy high, sell higher. And that's it. Because that means if you're buying higher, then you probably have waited and have the patience for confirmation. And most people don't have that. Oh my gosh, DOGE just popped 2 Satoshis for a second while we had this stream up. I guess we're just, you know, DOGE. We're like DOGE lords that help it go up. We're channeling the energy. It's happening. All right, another coin. Let's go. What do we got?
Let's look at Zen.
Zen.
They work hard. I've seen them really pushing code and trying to get their features out. They run secure nodes on top of the ZK Snark. Yeah, it's good coin. I see them working hard. I just
look at that guy's channel for a long time. It's all the way back to last summer. That's clearly in there. And you're probably, oh my God, you didn't draw it up to the top of that candle. Well, yeah, I didn't because there's one up there, okay? You got to keep it in line here. This is art. Don't you forget. I want the most kind of touches. I'm kind of averaging out these pumps. This is a fluky fluke. Okay? Same on the bottoms. We can do that. We can make them go up a little bit.
Yeah, back in September.
See, we can kind of do it like that. It makes it a little bit better. Maybe even like that. Look at that, guys. That's about where we're going. Looks nice. We can probably chop this one down to the daily. Looks good. It needs to pretty much break out. If we get above 38, and I round these guys because it's just so many things, you can look at it. If we're looking at ZENCash and I'm saying 38, I'm just taking the first 2 numbers of the Satoshi. I'm not going to sit here and be like 388,300. And I do that for anywhere, no matter where the decimal point location is. It's just an easier way to kind of talk and reference it. So here you go. Boom. It looks pretty damn good. Let's chop it down to the 4-hour. All right. I don't like that. I do not. There is slight, like the slightest little hairline negative divergence. Although it can get shooken off real fast here. There's 2 hours left in this 4-hour. And we could just be bull flagging right here, guys. So keep an eye on that. Do not hold this thing below any of these lines. Look at all of them converging nicely, though. All these EMAs. It's looking pretty good. Watch out below 30, 31. Dangerous, dangerous.
Yeah, I would say so.
Give me another one.
Substratum, SUB. I actually had someone that I went to the river last weekend and just ran with a crowd I don't usually hang out with a whole lot, and they just mentioned Substratum. Like, they've been paying attention to Substratum.
Really?
Yeah, it's
interesting. What do they do?
Substratum.
No, not Substratum. They're your friends that mentioned it. Like, are they tech guys?
They've been trading. They've just kind of been trading on their own. They don't have a whole lot of finance experience, but they're optimistic. They're kind of like optimistic adoption of crypto trading, like on 6 months. Like, it's like someone who maybe just trades pet stocks. I'd say just people with very light trading backgrounds.
Okay. Well, here you go. Here is.
They're not really in finance or in anything having to do with. They're just people that pay attention.
It's pumping pretty hard.
Yeah.
Pumping pretty hard. We're getting real low on the DMI negative. I don't usually like to see it get that low that fast. That's either a. It's funny, man. It's either, I know you're like, oh, it's just either or. Of course, it's 50-50. Well, there's a good likelihood that it will have a little snapback, but you have to measure these moves, right? Like, if it comes back and chills here, kind of neutrals it back out, it can kind of just stay flat. Let's pull it back a little and look at when it did that before, right around here. So it got snapped down and then went flat and then just kind of stayed below that 15 area like I was telling y'all about. And see, this is where my crosshair is. It's about 16, 15. I have it marked as 16 usually, but like I said, boom, fighting. And not until these guys, the bulls, broke below 25 did it even matter that they were creeping up the whole time. But this is why the DMI is really cool, because you can really start seeing the magnitude and the level and the speed that the bears are moving into price action. And I haven't found really a good indicator that helps you do that. And I've looked at ADX for way too many hours, and I just always was intrigued by it. There was just something in there I never really saw until, you know,
I
the
like
10th millionth hour of looking at it.
I like to look at some of these smaller cap coins. Like Sub has done
Looks great.
1.9 million in volume in the last 24 hours on Binance. So it's just like a smaller cap coin, but they're great to trade for people who are not millionaires or even hundreds of thousands of heirs.
It's not a good place for entry, though. I don't
not
think.
not right here. But
No, this is just keep an eye on it. If it
Yeah.
can break out again with some volume above maybe about 4,000, yeah, I likes it. One coin that I was thinking about recently is Quantstamp,
Quantstamp.
QSP. QSP is cool. It's kind of their idea is to be like an auditor.
Oh, nice. That's a great use case.
It is a great use case. They want to be code auditors. So if you're quant stamped, like if you're stamped with quant, that means you're badass.
They get to be like a crypto ratings agency. Yeah, man, I've been.
And it's on
Talking about that for a
Ethereum.
while.
Yeah, it's a really good idea. I like their project a lot. I love the idea. You can see here, I'll say it again. I love their idea. I know I said that twice almost in a row. But here you go. There's the chart. It's looking pretty good, guys. Here you look at this. Look at this divergence a little bit. No, it's not. Just kidding. It just looks good. No divergence. You don't need divergence for things to go up, by the way. Everyone gets caught up in so many things. Also, don't get caught up, like I said earlier, in individual stocks or trading, and also don't get caught up in indicators. And also, the simpler you can make it, the better. Here you go. It's making a nice saucer pattern. If this continues, then it looks like it might saucer into a little bit later this month, and we could have a nice big pump on the QSP, like in this chart. It's at very, very low times. Look at this. Look at this time here. Let's put it on the daily so it's a little bit cleaner looking. Zoom in. Here we go. Boom. That's a lot of business being done down here, boys and girls and other people of genders.
Let's look at BitShares.
BitShares, one of my favorites. Love it. Let's go to Polo. That'll have the most time on it. BitShares has been looking great. Popping hard. Let's look at it on the 4-hour. It's losing a little bit of steam, but it has had a really good run. Being back here, consolidating in late June, you're at about 2,000 sats. It's had about a 50% run, so that's pretty good. I know someone that bought some in this area.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
Good.
That use the BitShares platform. Y'all should probably do that. It's really good. It's awesome. If y'all don't know, you can actually get leverage on there too.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can lend your stuff out for US dollar pair equivalents within the chain by itself. There's no one that comes close to doing that, by the way.
Also,
Talk to that a little bit.
Also, silver, gold.
That's right.
I believe there's a bit Rupal.
BitRuble. Oh, I have it pulled up. You want to see a little bit of the BitShares?
Show the people.
Let's show the people. I'm not going to show y'all how much money I
And
don't
also,
have in it.
he did say correctly, BitShares has a margin book.
Margin book. Let me up. I just, whoa, I didn't know you could do that. That's what Dave Chappelle said. Didn't know you couldn't do that. So there you go. There's like all the things on it. Look at that volume. I know we talked about this last night, but that stream was real shitty, so we took it off. But volume last night was about 500,000. So volume today has gone up substantially. Here's all the pairs. They kind of suck. This is dollar pairs. But every DEX, because my opinion is that people don't want to actually own the responsibility. If you lose money and it was a DEX, it's your damn fault.
Yeah.
There's no one to call. There's no one to email. There's no tech support. Like maybe in certain aspects of how to put in a trade, someone will help you. They have support like that. But like if you mess up and send it somewhere and make a bad trade, like that's it. Like, and you got to own that up. And I think people are scared of that. They want to be able to call and bitch at somebody.
I mean, I just man up and own up to the loss. It's just, you know, I foobarred a keystroke. Okay.
Yeah, but I've done that before many times. Here you go. Look at this, guys, too. It has Trading View.
Also,
Trading Views integrated into BitShares. You see this? Look at that. How clean is that?
it's a great.
Is that pretty much amazing? Here, we can click around here so you can see how fast it pretty much loads. And this is all on a chain.
All on a chain.
And this is all on a chain on not great internet either. My internet is not stellar. Here you go. Let's open ETH. Here's GDEX and EOS.
And you know what? BitShares also has a great API. You just have to run a node to access it. I think a lot of people integrating have been a little lazy because they don't want to run a node, or no one has done a centralized node yet. But you know what? CryptoBridge did. I can hit open market orders through CryptoBridge's public API, and they're the same thing as BitShares.
They change the size of the charts too, all within the chain. All in chain, on chain, by the chain, for the chain.
Just a username, just a password.
And that's all you have to do. Let's say I want to send you some BitShares. I can just put my name in there. There's mine. If you want to send me some, or use my referral code.
Send him some BitShares.
Send me some BitShares. That's it. You just need a username. 123 Bob. And then I don't have to copy paste nothing. I can go on something and go 123 Bob, type it in. Oh, excuse me, give him $20, done. Like how you try to memorize the capital letters and lowercase letters and numbers in these seeds, man. Like no one really can. Some Rain Man guy can, but
sure.
And then here's the Explorer, what it looks like. This is all the stuff that's happening right now. We'll just keep it open for a second while we talk about it. Like it's just pumpy, pumpy, pump.
Those are great metrics to have, you know, knowing your service is running in a blockchain, which is essentially Web 3.0. I mean, there's chains for storage, there's change for compute power, there's change for messaging queues, there's chains for contract code, like the logic processing of an app. This is Web 3.0, and everything has value.
All on a chain.
All on a chain.
And don't forget, Dan Larimer created this, EOS and Steam. I know there's lots of hate, mostly for him. But on that list, you're saying Ethereum with Chinese top-ranking cryptocurrencies. Steam was number 2.
It sure was.
Steam it is number 2, guys.
Facebook on the chain.
I actually think Larimer is onto something real big. If he combines kind of all the projects he's making, he could be creating a infrastructure that is kind of what we're looking for, but no one is like, everyone hates him for some reason because he printed tokens and made money off of creating some. Oh gosh!
Heaven forbid,
oh, he got paid for his work.
Heaven forbid he profit. My goodness!
God dang it! I'm done with this, JJ. I just can't handle it anymore. People getting paid for their efforts. Paid for their efforts. Everyone's like, "Oh, Steam's never gonna make it. It's never gonna make it." It's still here today.
Still around.
People love it.
You know what? Bitcoin Cash is gonna be around for a long time too.
Yeah, so get over it.
Get over it.
Stop being little girls and move on, and let's do this.
Make your own
There's
chain.
room for everybody.
Make your own chain. Try to be a success.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah. That should be a shirt. Make your own chain.
Put your chain where your mouth is.
I like that. I like that. Here's the fees. Everything's pretty transparent, too. BitShares, you click on a little tab up here. Fee schedule. Boom. Here they all are. What do you want to do? Asset. Create them. Issue it. To burn it. To get rid of the assets. That's something people don't know about BitShares. You can create smart coins inside of BitShares. Built in, all on the chain, and there's all the costs right there. It tells you how much it is. Sometimes they're not cheap. Like right now, they're taxing $6,000 to do a symbol with 3 characters. Okay? It's a lot of money. But hey.
It works.
It works. It's not spamming, at least. 4 characters only, it's $1,500. You know, they're doing 3 characters because think of it in like traditional markets, it is harder to do like a XYZ versus XYZ BC ticker. Like there's more involved in getting just like a shorter one. And look at this, if you want a longer one, if you want to do like 5 characters, like, you know, your coin, then it's only $38.
Yeah.
So they already understand. That's what's interesting about like these guys. They understand like value where it is already because they're comparing it to existing equity and financial markets. So there you have it. Everything else though is super cheap. Send messages.
No one can do a damn thing about this. There's no way to take BitShares down now that it's up, now that the nodes are running. It's a username and password. You're the only one that knows your creds. This chain is running on an immutable infrastructure. It's as decentralized as a DEX can be by my estimate of all the DEXs that are out there. How do you stop this? You can't.
How do you, the same way you stop torrent?
Yeah, you can't stop a torrent. Users are out there running their nodes.
But whatever it is, how you do that, it's the same way.
Yeah.
I don't know how you do that. That's out of my realm. It is too expensive.
You may as well just trade.
You might, yeah, or hackers don't do this shit that's too expensive. What do?
I think
they just like fish people, and people are idiots, right? And then they get them. This is something interesting. Look at these people, Alibaba, Com. People are already starting to buy certain names on here because what if Alibaba wants to come on here?
I don't see why they wouldn't want to.
Yeah, and they have to buy this guy that issued it, Derivatives DEX. Look at that guy. We can go click on his name.
It's kind of like
we can go see what he has. Look, he's a guy. He's domain squatting.
Yep,
he's doing. Look at that. Twitter.com.
That's
Twitter.com.
That's a good one. Twitter's never going to get on board with this. Fucking
Twitter Inc. There's a derivative for the Twitter Inc. share. Feeds are assigned from the NYSE exchange. So see, that's what's cool. Like they can plug it in if you use or can code. You can take data from a different source, like the NYSE, New York Stock Exchange, or something like that, or ICE or whatever, and you can pipe it in, and then you can just peg it via a coin. They actually have asset coins, which are designed already for that, and you just already put the little peg line in there. Like, it's so crazy easy, but people just aren't ready for this yet. It's just too early.
Did we mention that they have a margin book?
Oh, margin. Yeah, I don't know if we did, but they do.
We did.
But they do have a margin book. Where's the margin? Where can I show margin at? I think I can do borrow. There you go. It's actually, look at that. Like right on the thing. Buy bits, borrow. This is the silver one. It has a little bit of a premium on it. It's a small market. Here you go. I can update my margin position. I already have one. But you can change it, and all it is a drag slider for the ratio of the collateral you have to put up. And you have to put a minimum of, I believe, 2.25. Yep, 2.25 is the minimum to start. And then they close you out at, I believe, 1.5. And I've tested this. It does force close you. It works just like your broker. If you trade options or futures and you've been on margin and the trade went against you and your broker just calls you and sends you a message, it's like, hey, you better close this or we're about to do it at close or in an hour. Or sometimes they're like, we're closing this in the next 15 minutes if you don't call us. And so it does that automatically, all via smart contracts that are already all built in to BitShares.
This node is out of Nuremberg, Germany.
Yeah, that's one of the main ones, is in Germany.
And here I was, trash talking Europe.
We need a better one for it, I think.
I need to be the person to put up that U.S. node.
But yeah, looking good, guys. Look at this. Here it is. How about pick one more, and then I think we should probably wrap it up. Unless you have some other things you want to talk about.
We touched on everything.
I can talk about crypto all day.
Yeah, I mean, I can just as well, too. I think it's interesting to note what we were talking about a little bit earlier, the Nevada Prime Trust connection. I just think that it's super cool to see a state really embrace crypto and for firms to go there and be able to comfortably, with the support of the state, do business. That's something that I would like to see. Not that Texas is not doing that. It's just, well.
But did Texas do this?
Yep, they did not do that.
That's right. Nevada is going to harbor.
Oh, man.
And I'm going to do another episode on this, and maybe I would like JJ to join me on it. I've been writing notes for it. There's an interesting project in Nevada that's going on that has lots of blockchain and very high-level tech companies, Google's, Teslas, etc., investing in this very thousands of acre area in Nevada that I think is going to become a very large powerhouse. Y'all probably, some of y'all know where it's at, but like I said, I will be talking about that here in the next few days because I think it is extremely important.
I think I know a man that we should also bring on for that who could speak very well to this, having talked with a lot of the people in Nevada out of Reno.
Oh, that would be great if we could get S-Dog on here.
Yep.
I'm down with that. So just to close it out, unless you have another coin we should check out.
How about Library?
Library. I love some LBC. I've always loved the idea. Actually, you sent me a cool thing. What's it called again? I'll pull that up here.
Speech.ch. Speech.
That's right.
It's just a rapid.
Speech.ch.
It's a rapid upload portal to the library chain. You can upload images, videos. You own the domain. People pay money to the address and they get your content. You could host a show on Library and people would pay you in Library to view it.
This is how simple it is, guys. It is very basic, but that's okay. Got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Here's you can make it
And
your
it
channel.
works.
And it works. Yeah, I've watched videos on it. It's pretty interesting. They're pretty silly, the videos, but you know, hey, the videos are real silly when the internet first came out in the 90s, and then they were even more silly when YouTube barely started making it. But yeah, this is really cool. When he showed me this, I was pretty stoked that someone's actually doing that. Let's go back to the chart. Boom. Looking nice. Look at this pattern. This is a definitely good basing pattern right there. Saucer all the way. I mean, if you can't see that, I'll draw it out for you just in case.
Yeah.
Here it is, right? If I want to get real technical, they actually have a curve button in there. There you go. It's looking pretty good.
I got it in a position right at 1,600 Satoshis.
Nice job.
You know what? I was in Dallas recently, and someone had the nerve to
That's
be
right
like,
about here, guys.
you trade that shit? Yeah, I trade it. Look at it.
You're like, yeah, what do you trade? Probably nothing. But yeah, we're above. We're looking good, guys. Here's the hour. Let's move up to the daily. Daily is looking solid. I even like this relative strength showing up while we barely have any price movement. I think that's really bullish. And the DMI ADX just crossed over. And so that's really nice, guys. I think y'all should take heed of that. Keep an eye on it. You know, this is not, I'm not telling you to buy, I never will, or to sell. Again, everything is at your own peril, right? As it should be. Learn how to trade and then manage your money. Importantly, mostly risk management. Risk management. Risk management. Say it again to yourself like 10 times.
Risk management.
Because I know that's what's really, and I try not to cuss on here. I'm really trying to do that.
Oh, oops.
But I'm going, yeah, it's okay. I've done it too. But I will say you won't fucking make it unless you don't manage your risk, period. So here you go. Back to library. Look at this badass shit here. There we go. I just doubled down on the cursing. Man, I still think it's got some legs. Look, there is no volume. There's not, like, no one's even playing yet. No one's playing the game yet. Pull it down a little bit on the daily. Maybe we're just missing it. Nope, still no one's playing. We're down here in this big old range. Big old bullish range. That does not deserve to be a red box, guys. I'm sorry. Let's go ahead and change that to a green box. Tone it down a little bit. There you go. Looks a lot better. Middle of the green box. Hey, you make your own decision. Do it. Don't do it. I don't care. Doesn't bother me. I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah.
Anything else for you? That was a good one. I like that.
You know, I haven't looked at Mona in a while.
Mona, man, I forgot about the Mona coin.
Out of Japan.
Because that's been around for a long time, guys. I remember seeing that one back in 2014. Yep, there you go. There's the history.
It's like the Japanese Doge.
All the way back to 2014, it is. And there you go. The Japanese Dogecoin, that is actually at 32,000 Satoshi. You know, imagine if Dogecoin went to 32,000 Satoshi.
I would be elated if that happened.
I would be pretty stoked.
Yes.
No volume, guys, at all. Not even since here. Hard to get a read on, I would say.
That's unfortunate.
I don't like this trajectory, but you know what? Usually, a lot of times in crypto, when they get real nasty like this, there's this stupid ass violent, double out of nowhere. I don't like it that much. Definitely, maybe keep an eye on it, but
It has a tiny amount of volume on CryptoBridge. People trade it on Bitbank and Bittrex. It has a presence on Bittrex.
yeah, that's where I remember trading it before. There you go. To give you context, we really are in the middle of no man's land right now. That's why I just wanted a little confirmation on that with volume profile, which it did. It's kind of how I felt when I looked at it. Here you go. We're kind of like, where are you going to go? If it dips a little bit more, I do think it becomes a lot more attractive. But it's not in a terrible place because there is lots of business here. If we do turn in the markets, that it's likely we will have lots of these alts start getting some more upside pressure, and that can change these graphs that we're looking at here very quickly. So on that note, let's wait and see what happens here in the next day. And let's close out on the Bitcoin chart, just because everybody wants to look at Bitcoin since we've been talking for the last hour or two. Let's see where we're at. We are still up here at about 7,500, my friends. Let's go chop it down to 30 minutes. I almost never do that. No divergences. Maybe you could call this one. I'm not going to call it one. We're still above. Like I said, I usually don't go there. Let's go to hour. That's usually my lowest. Looks great, guys, on the hour. We're doing fabulous. There's no divergences yet. Let's just keep on trucking. And on that note, JJ, give me some last-minute thoughts, and we'll leave y'all to have an awesome rest of your night.
Yeah, this was awesome, and I'd like to do it again. Good times. Love this stuff.
Good times. Well, I really do want to appreciate. He's short and sweet over here, JJ, isn't he? I do want to appreciate y'all listening. Like, again, this is No Noise Research with Z-Rex and my buddy JJ. Please, if you're my friend, JJ didn't have subscribed yet, but
I subscribed.
He did now after I told him. If y'all could, it's free. I used to be that way too. Be like, I don't want to subscribe. He's like, dude, come on, you just click on it. It helps out people a lot. So if y'all could do that, and as they say, I hate the term, but it seems to work, smashing that like button. People even make little Hulk smash things, but do love it. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see y'all tomorrow. Take care.